So, chaps, we are going to start with Barcelona in terms of the discussion. From my mind, I'm watching a team that we haven't seen the best of. The three players there, the Palmer, Henriquinho, and of course Guiafera, one of the best players in the world, individually are very, very talented players. But have we seen the team unit that we would possibly expect so far?
I think we have. I think we did definitely see that against Juventus on match day 1. A lot of people weren't expecting them to get the result that they did there. They got 4 points out of that one, and you could argue that last week they lost narrowly 2-1 and 1-0 against the team in Bayern München that we're expecting again to be towards the top, to be in one of those playoff spaces come the end of the season. So I wouldn't write off Barcelona just yet. Yes, they're in 8th place. They're a little bit off the pace in terms of points, but realistically, goal difference only -1, despite having 2 losses on the board. So it's very narrow losses and it's very narrow margins that separate teams in this league.
And Wes, Arsenal, similar question. We've got Christopher, who played for Boavista last season. We've got Alex Giardi, who played for Nantes FC, and S-Venom is new to the competition. Have we seen quite what they can produce, or are they still a bit of a beast in Waking?
I think they're still a bit of a beast in Waking. I think it's with teams where they've been put together, where you've got individual brilliance. It's a case then of how do you mesh them together. We saw with Boavista, a lot of people don't really know those Boavista players, but when they come together, they have a sum of their parts type of performance. I'd love to see that from Arsenal and from Barcelona, because the two rosters are incredible rosters to have.
Because I'm watching the Arsenal contingent there, and I'm seeing a player in Alex Giardi who's known for his goal-scoring abilities. I'm seeing Christopher, who's been there, done it. He's been around the PES scene for a decade. And I'm seeing S-Venom, a guy who, at the highest level, has taken players like Ettore, etc., right to the wire. So they should really be able to start to make inroads in this competition.
Yeah, and I'm kind of expecting that here today. I'm actually expecting Arsenal to actually, and I'll put my colours to a mast here, I'm expecting them to take all 6 points.
A bold statement there from Wes. I'm going to say 4 points for Arsenal, so I do definitely see them picking up at least 3. Harry, how are you seeing this?
I think all 6 for Barca. I feel like this is a team that, when you look at some of the players that are on it, like the likes of Henriquinho and Guiafera.
They're straight in already, and it's Luis Suarez, and it's exactly what Harry has suggested. Within the blink of an eye, it's 1-0 Barcelona.
To get back to my point, Guiafera, Henriquinho, De Palma, all incredible players, all young, all hungry, all playing for Barcelona. How can you write this team off? I mean, it's a dream start for them, nightmare for Arsenal. Defensive frailties come showing themselves again.
They haven't even touched the ball, Wes.
Well, I hate to be a party pooper on this. 2 things. 1, still plenty of time to go in this game. 2, whoever, and I didn't quite pick up who picked up the manual goal kid there, but they pushed it so far out that the touch for Suarez, it was easy. It was far, far too easy, and he was the captain of all people. Was the manual goal kick?
Yeah, we were waiting a little while for the game to get underway, but we certainly weren't waiting for the first goal of the day, as Pepe has the chance for an instant response for Arsenal. Gets to the byline, chance to cross it in. Good defending in the end, and it is going to go out for a corner, and it's a good response from Arsenal. Can they capitalise on this period of pressure? Jordi Alba comes across to block that near post cross. It's in from Pepe, in towards David Luiz, flicked on towards Aubameyang. Couldn't steer at home. Good defending in the end, Harry.
Yep, agreed. And both these two teams separated by just a point in the league table. Barcelona on 8th with 4 points coming into today. And you can see the goals scored and conceded. The big differential there is the goals conceded column. I mean, 11, yes. Arsenal already having played AS Monaco, who we know are in fine goal-scoring form. That's a statistic they certainly won't like at the end of the season.
It's been a good response from Arsenal. They're in again here. It is the perfect response from Arsenal Football Club. Alex Giardi, S-Venom and Christopher fight back within minutes of going behind, and it's the sort of mentality that they need to produce.
And it's the latter. It's Christopher, the captain fantastic, standing up once again for his club. And it's a well-worked goal. If you watch here from midfield, just simply finding the man, the run off the ball. You could say maybe a defender there. I think it was De Palma controlling the Barcelona defender, should do more. But unfortunately, it's going to be, or at least unfortunately for Barcelona, it's going to be a goal.
Well, it's like we said, there's opportunities there for Arsenal to really press it on, and they have players with the ability to do that, and it was quite simple for them. Although you've now got to be careful of Messi and co coming back to bite you, as we see there, Medley taking it away. This is finally in the balance now.
12 minutes gone here. Barcelona 1, Arsenal 1. Guendouzi with a throw. Going to give it to Pepe. And we waited a little while for the first goal in the last game. We've had 2 in the blink of an eye. Don't go anywhere. So those of you who did put your shirts and dresses on for the music highlights earlier, time to go and put your slacks back on, because we're back to the esports action from the sofa as Aubameyang flicks it around the corner looking for Pepe. It's going to be kept in down on the near touchline. An interesting touch there from Aubameyang, back towards Pepe. This is wonderful football from Arsenal. Great save from ter Stegen.
Yeah, it's good to see Arsenal taking those little bit more of a risk with their shooting. It's very rare that we see a pass coming in off the side, and instead of looking for the extra pass, they're looking to try and score. And
that's what I want to see out of Arsenal going into further match days. I want to see that almost wild card mentality. When you look at this roster, it's certainly, as you said, thrown together by Arsenal Football Club. I want to see that more.
In towards Pepe, right foot shot, blocked away. Another chance comes and goes for Arsenal. It's been a really solid response, Wes.
These set pieces are key to Arsenal. If you look at how the makeup of Arsenal's team, it's physical. There's Kolasinac, there's David Luiz, there's Aubameyang. They have that ability to knock down the ball where some teams may not have that ability. And they're using it to great effect here. They're trying to get flick-ons.
And on the flip side, Barcelona are probably most susceptible to that because they don't have the most physical side.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weakness for them.
As Pepe brings the ball away, forward towards the goal scorer, Luis Suarez. Still deadlocked at 1-0. Barcelona taking the lead after just a few minutes, but Arsenal have responded in the best possible way, and they've got another chance here. Good defending, and Jordi Alba completes the clearance.
It's interesting we're seeing from Arsenal attempting that almost crossing gameplay. Often in the eFootball.Pro, you'll see players try and do just this, like Barcelona are right now, tiki-taka passing. Messi's in.
David Luiz clears downfield, flicked on by Aubameyang. They are looking pretty dangerous with that front trio. Luis Suarez pops it off to Busquets, and a period of possession here for Barcelona, but they've not really made many inroads.
You can see their intent, though, is to try and play the Monaco style and really be as quick and as direct as possible, straight down the gut, straight down the middle. And that's a potential chance here.
With Luis Suarez as the pinnacle of that. Jordi Alba crosses towards Lionel Messi. Can't get on it, but it's still with Rakitic. Out towards Dembele. Chipped in towards the far post, but it's an easy claim in the end. But Harry was off his seat. He thought that was potentially going to be a moment of magic.
Well, just to latch on to Harry's point there, where you're talking about the Barcelona style of play, it's great and it is direct. However, Barcelona don't have that same makeup. They don't have a Silimani. They don't have a physical presence. Yes, Suarez is robust and will get about the place, but he won't have the same attacking ability as Silimani, especially in stat balancing.
Yeah, so just to remind people at home that might not be so familiar with some of the terminology, stat balancing is, of course, where all stats are equalised across the different squads, but the main difference between the squads is, of course, in that physicality department. That's why we've seen the likes of FC Nantes being hyped so much, with the likes of Koulibaly through the middle, and of course Barcelona on the flip side, not quite so good. But what are some of the benefits of playing as a Barcelona side, Wes?
Well, you have quick feet, you have a room to dribble, you have technically gifted players in the likes of Messi, Griezmann, Suarez, Dembele. You have quickness on your side. So if you can play around those physical elements in a game, you know.
So that's why the direct nature of their game plan almost has to be there at this stage then.
Yeah, I think for here, they need to have it more direct, but it's all on the floor. Whereas you can see here, Pepe trying to get free.
He's found Aubameyang, twists and turns, left foot, it's poor in the end, but the support was pretty much lacking as Guendouzi was flattering to deceive down in that left wing-back position. But he's forward now, gets the ball off the former Dortmund man, and now plays it in towards Pepe. Chance to cross it in with the left foot. It almost ricocheted through, but Barcelona clear and they have the chance to counter. The dying embers, the last minute of the first half. We're not going to get another chance, and it's finished stalemated at 1-1.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much par for the course at this point. I mean, both teams had their decent chances. I suppose you could argue that Arsenal may be the favoured side based on the clear-cut chances they had there in that first half, but signs of improvement there from Barcelona. Again, when you think about match day 2 for them just 2 weeks ago, really disheartening losses against FC Bayern München. It's tough to bounce back from that. I mean, we saw Celtic earlier on definitely bounce back from that kind of result after the previous match day. We'll see if Barcelona can do it here as well.
What's the hold-up, Wes? What's going through the heads at this moment in time?
Well, there was just small tweaks there from Barcelona's side, and you can see there as well, alluding to your point from match day 2, they're a bit more vocal this time. They're a bit more having a chat about what they're actually doing as opposed to just being autonomous and it just being that way about it.
Oh, it's route one. It's in towards Aubameyang. It's just a whisker wide of the post, and it should, knowing how good Aubameyang is, it should be 2-1.
And knowing how good Christopher is as well, he's already gotten a goal in this game. You think about his time back last year competing in PES 2019, those types of goals were his bread and butter, the very direct nature of it, and almost straight from kickoff, you want to say.
It's a gilt-edge opportunity that comes and goes for Arsenal. They certainly won't get many better than that, but that, as Wes has his hands in his head because he knows that was a huge defensive mistake and they were almost punished. A tremendous save from the goalkeeper, and somehow Barcelona are still level in this game.
I think it was the Palmer there, actually, who shifted the keeper across just to cover his near post, and it's so vital he did, because if that little tweak hadn't been made, that might have been a goal.
Balogun's in again here down the left-hand side. Support from Pepe just behind him, but this time he goes towards Reece Nelson, but couldn't quite find the youngster. And now Guendouzi back to Medley. It's been a really positive response from Arsenal after going behind, and you have to say on the balance of play, they probably deserve to be in front. But as we've seen time and time again, if you do not take your chances, Harry, you may be punished.
It reminds me of the game against Juventus on match day 1 as Barcelona are in here.
And it's almost exactly what we were talking about. Bar a pretty sloppy pass from Jordi Alba, it could have been a big chance.
But you think back to match day 1, Juve were bossing that game against Barcelona, and it was I think it was a 94th minute winner by Henriquinho, if I remember correctly, that stole.
I think it was actually 93, but
I think you're right. I think it was actually 95, thinking back to my notes.
Pepe on the left-hand side. Half an hour remaining in this first game between Barcelona and Arsenal, and as has been the day, it's been pretty enthralling across the board as Reece Nelson goes down the left-hand side, crosses towards Balogun, behind for a corner, and still Arsenal come and come and come in their droves looking for this winner.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the way that Arsenal, they seem far more comfortable with their squad now than they have been previous match days. You know, and looking at it, they're not making too many tweaks. Barca, though, seem to be looking at a kind of a formation which is a little bit kind of more, a little bit something that I've not really seen a lot of teams introduce is to try and have it, you know, set up in that kind of rhombus type of shape that they've got going on for their midfield. But you know, for Arsenal, they should be buoyed by this performance because they've played really well.
They have indeed, but they need to capitalise whilst on top. We are hearing that Harry was indeed correct. It is a 95-minute goal for Barcelona. I was, of course, joking with 93 just to put a spanner in the works, but Harry was spot on as the ball gets played in towards David Luiz. Good header down, and where on earth was Aubameyang, Harry?
Oh, such a tricky corner to deal with. The keeper comes out in anticipation, hastily gets back to his goal, but that header across is so dangerous, but Barca have a chance now.
They do. Antoine Griezmann down the right-hand side, cuts back onto his favourite left foot in towards Lionel Messi. Also has a magician, a wand of a left foot, but he couldn't quite pass it onto that, and it's behind for a corner. A decent-ish response from Barcelona, but can they fashion, importantly, a big chance from it? It is going to be a corner. 3 to Arsenal, just a 1 to Barcelona. This is the first set piece of the match for them in terms of corners as the ball gets played in and headed away by that man, Kolasinac, a monster of a man. It's in towards Dembele. Barcelona still par forwards. It ricochets around and almost goes in from the defender. And this is some serious possession here from Barcelona, Harry.
Yeah, a little bit better from them. You want to try and take the pressure off your own defence. We saw Arsenal with a couple of corners and really threatening to get goal side.
We've seen in tight games, fine margins, set pieces can be so crucial, and Gerard Piqué was seconds away from getting on the end of that. Now Semedo in towards Dembele, swing and a miss again as Mustafi makes a crucial interception, and it's another corner, and this has been a brilliant period of play in the last 5 minutes from Barcelona.
Yeah, no doubt this is why we're going to be seeing some changes from Arsenal. Clearly not having the outlet to try and release the pressure on their defence at the moment. They can't quite find the target man, and elsewhere I think we're seeing some personnel changes.
Now Wes, the formations on the left-hand side for Barcelona, it looks a little bit not like we've seen a lot of so far, with a similar sort of 4-3-3, but one of them pushed really far wide. Any reason for that?
Yeah, I mean, they're just looking to utilise what their best players in their squad. They've got Dembele on the pitch, they've got Griezmann, they've got Suarez and Messi. They're trying to make the best.
So he's putting round pegs in round holes. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I've heard that used before. Socrates down the right-hand side. Lacazette races onto it. Something we haven't said much on in the second half. They've been restricted to a mere few half chances, but there's a potential big chance here in towards Aubameyang. But again, good defending from Barcelona. Are they going to rue that huge opportunity right at the start of the second half for Aubameyang as the ball gets played in, but it's gone wide?
Now, that was almost a half chance as that ball is drilled in, but for me, it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. If you saw Alex Giardi making a late run at the edge of the box with Guendouzi, that would have been, for me, the higher percentage opportunity there for Arsenal. So maybe, again, seeing their name in lights before it's actually happened.
Indeed, as the ball gets played out for a throw, and it's going to be taken by Henry Quinho. Looking for the movement, goes towards Guiafera, controlling Antoine Griezmann, now into Lionel Messi, chance to get the shot away. Good defending again from Mesut Ozil, headed back in. This is some serious pressure from Barcelona, but crucially, it's looking more and more like Arsenal have elected to play on the counter-attack, and this is where they could be so dangerous with the likes of Aubameyang and Pepe and Nelson, etc.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they've set out here. They've got a lucky bounce, but it's evading them again. But yeah, you play to your team's strength. We know that Arsenal are blessed with pace up and down their kind of offensive line. Utilise it. Utilise your weaponry that you have. Don't try and make your team to be something it's not. You know.
You'd have to say on the play so far, a draw is a fair result, but crucially, we have seen wins and draws snatched in injury time. Are we going to see the same thing again between Barcelona versus Arsenal?
Interesting, we're seeing Pepe actually come off for Martinelli. For me, Pepe's been one of the star men. Maybe some tired legs coming into play there. Some fresh lungs injected into the pace of Arsenal's counter-attack, because like you said, Adam, certainly looking at how they are stacking up here against Barcelona.
The likes of the youngster Saka on the bench as well. Is there any other players, Wes, that you would think could change the game for Arsenal?
Well, I think the one that they've brought on is probably the most likely to do so is Martinelli. I think he's probably the most likely to really do something that is gonna change this game.
Down the left-hand side, looking for Antoine Griezmann, who switched flanks. Lovely bit of skill there from the Frenchman. Good challenge, though, from David Luiz, and it's going to be a corner again. The third, or actually I think fourth in quick succession.
7th corner of the game.
Barcelona, they had none up to 54 minutes, and now they've had 4 in the remaining 30-ish. Good maths there, as Guendouzi comes across to make that angle tight at the front. Cleared away down the right-hand side. Chance for Aubameyang to race onto it. Lovely pop-off. Just a little bit behind David Luiz, and that's a really sloppy pass from the Brazilian, and it's allowed Barcelona to, it's got really scrappy in here at the moment, guys.
Really has, and it's getting to that time of the game where scrappiness is certainly rewarded if you are tenacious as an attacker. Not too much time remaining.
Messi plays it in towards the danger man. Oh, it's wide of the target with the goal at his mercy. It looked like the net was going to bustle with the left foot. But unfortunately for Barcelona, it's gone the wrong side of the post. And will they get a better opportunity, Wes?
I can't see them fashioning a chance like that again in the last dying embers of the game. But they've got to be careful of this Arsenal attack. It's on a knife edge at this point.
We've seen today, time and time again, when you think the game is over, there's just that one last chance. Are we going to see something as dramatic as what's happened today? The final minute of normal time. All eyes on the 4th official as he walks towards the edge of the technical area. The board is raised aloft above his head. And it will be Semedo who's going to take the throw on the far touchline. Down the line. And it's going to go all the way out of play, and the 4th official's board says 4 minutes. One more chance, says Wes in my ear. He believes there's one last chance to snatch a victory here. Dembele in towards Griezmann. A terrible, terrible pass, though. And it's a chance for Arsenal. Ozil out towards Lacazette. Lacazette challenged by Vidal, and it's looking like the stalemate will go into the next game unless it's Mesut Ozil, it's Lacazette, it's into the substitute Martinelli, who can change the game but won't change the game, and it's surely going to finish here. Barcelona 1, Arsenal 1, and looking at that game, a fair result.
Yeah, we often say that about draws, and I feel like that's one of the truest representations of it. I feel like Barcelona pinned Arsenal back, and Arsenal didn't really have a response. In terms of their counter-attacks, you know, didn't slow things down when they were in advantageous positions, pushed up in Barcelona's final third. And there were often times when I think back to that fantastic run that Alex Giardi made to the edge of the box with Guendouzi, I believe it was. I mean, if you pull it back to him there, maybe you get your second goal and it's a different result at the end of the day. So that's something I want to see more from Arsenal, you know, maybe calming down when they are in the final third in this game too, and maybe they can come away with 3 points against Barcelona if they do that.
So Wes, you predicted, was it 6 points to Arsenal?
I thought it was.
You predicted 6 to Barcelona.
So predicted
I predicted 4 for Arsenal. So the only one that's still in the running, guys. I hate to throw that in there, but it's. I mean, it could have gone either way, granted, in that first game. But as we said, I think 1-1 was a fair result. I don't think either of them did enough in the final third, other than potentially the Aubameyang chance right at the start of the second half, guys.
Yeah, I think looking at it, I think there wasn't too much to talk about in that second half, really. I mean, you had half chances here and there. It wasn't anything where you could say, yep, that should have definitely happened.
So, seconds away from the start of the second game in Matchday 4. Matchday 4? No. The 4th match in Matchday 3 was what I was getting at.
It's confusing. It's a lot of numbers.
It's a lot of numbers,
and a lot of matches. Game 2 of the 4th match of Matchday 3.
And my flight was delayed yesterday, so that's my excuse.
Oh, boo-hoo.
As we see close-ups there of Alex Giardi and S. Venom. And then the camera pans to the famous, really, on the scene, Christopher. He's been around for what seems years and years and years. When did he first win a trophy, Wes? That's why I'm going to throw that out there, unless Harry's got his stats right here, because I know it was around the 2009, 2010, I believe.
Maybe it was 2010 World. Oh, sorry, yeah, 2010. I think he won a world title. I think it was back in 2010.
So I got the year right.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that. Of course, another player, as we've mentioned before, in terms of early trophies, Eterito, I think the year later, winning his first. So there's players here in eFootball.Pro that have been around for almost a decade or more, but it's really coming to the fore now, and their talents are really being showcased on the biggest stage as Aubameyang has the chance for Arsenal to get them off to the perfect start, and the start that they didn't have in that opening game. Harry.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited to see the second game against Arsenal from a Barcelona perspective. They showed glimpses of greatness, and have to see with a rejuvenated Barcelona squad if they can get the first goal in this game.
Dembele twists and turns away from Medley. Half challenged by Mustafi, but whacked away. And Semedo dillying and dallying and almost got pickpocketed there by Oliver Twist as Gerard Piqué now plays it downfield and headed up towards Pepe. Pepe to Aubameyang. Lovely ball down the line towards Pepe. Support from Balogun. He's got in front of his defender, but the pass in, Wes, was a poor one.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gone with a lofted cross there to potentially give yourself a little bit more time to get onto the end of it, but again, you risk the keeper coming out and taking the ball there.
Luis Suarez finds Messi. Didn't see a lot of him, the Barcelona talisman, in that first game. Potentially we may see a bit more in this one as Nelson picks it up for Arsenal down the right-hand side, down towards Aubameyang, who was certainly in and amongst the action in that first game and will be disappointed not to get more goals as Balogun almost shrugged off the challenge from Piqué as Rakitic now completes the clearance up towards Lionel Messi. Lovely pop off to Rakitic, now finds Luis Suarez, and that is just miscommunication there.
Yeah, I think someone was expecting Dembele's run to come much sooner, just to, again, provide that release valve on that right-hand side, but better from Barca.
Bone-crunching challenge coming in there. And where's you surprised to see a more pragmatic start to the second game, or is this expected considering the higher stakes of pressure now?
I think knowing that the first game was a point, I think you would expect this of players to maybe play a little bit more inwardly.
Oh, it's in towards Lionel Messi. First chance really for Barcelona. In towards Dembele. Good header away. And Guendouzi completes the clearance. Balogun this time gives it away to Sergio Busquets, but wins it back brilliantly, but gives it away again. All got scrappy on the halfway line there as Arsenal win it back for a fourth time in as many seconds. And now Pepe finds Aubameyang, one back by Jordi Alba. Now Rakitic plays it back to him. Luis Suarez picks it up, and that's a really poor pass. That's 2 for Luis Suarez now in terms of poor choices of pass.
Yeah, I think it was De Palma who was the guilty party on that one. Needs to be a bit more precise.
In towards Dembele, back to Rakitic, gets it back though, and another chance here in towards the danger area. Luis Suarez tries to get away from his marker, can't quite do it. I notice how Barcelona have changed their strip actually to the away kit in this game. As Jordi Alba picks up. Does that play heavily into the players' minds, Wes, in terms of psyche? Do they have superstitions?
Well, you can certainly find that some players may find a superstition playing with a better kit. Sometimes players might not.
Oh, it's lovely from Luis Suarez, and Lionel Messi with the first chance of the second game, and someone of his calibre, he should be doing so much better, Harry.
Absolutely he should. And I think it was Henriquinho, the goal-scoring hero, who had that gilt-edged chance. Scored such a great goal against Juventus to snatch the 3 points. Their only win of the eFootball.Pro campaign so far. What a chance that was.
It really, really was, and it's gone all the way back to Guiafera in the Barcelona goal. And now David Luiz being controlled by S. Venom with the ball down the right-hand side. Now Jordi Alba picks it up, finds Rakitic. Barcelona, again like they did in the first game, just starting to click into gear as we approach the end of the first half. Dembele has a chance to pull the trigger, doesn't, goes left towards Lionel Messi, cuts inside, left foot shot, rocket into the far corner, and just when Barcelona were getting on top, they've capitalised.
And I think Arsenal were expecting that one more pass to Suarez, who was free just beyond the penalty spot. We'll see it again in just a moment from the replay, but yeah, it was a really well-worked goal, and I was about to sing Arsenal's praises in that they were closing down so much quicker than they were in weeks previous, but again, they're just maybe looking towards that one more pass towards Suarez.
And you were saying, Harry, that that one more pass was what they were thinking about going for, and Wes, it comes down to the risk element again, doesn't it? Because the risk-free option would be to play the simple pass, which is easily predicted sometimes, and they've done something out of the ordinary. Yeah,
sometimes it is just, like you say, take a shot, take an opportunity when it's on. Don't just go for the safe option. Have a bit of risk on it, and lo and behold, they come away with a goal.
That was a gorgeous hit as well, by the way, by Messi. Absolutely beautiful. Just struck it on the half volley. Lots of spin. Curls it into the corner, and it's 1-0 Barca.
35 minutes gone here. Barcelona 1, Arsenal 0. Dominated possession, 60%. And the 1-0 scoreline is all that separates the two teams in this second game. Passes completed also higher for Barcelona, as you would expect with more possession. Played in towards Nelson, hacked away again. How do Arsenal respond here?
I mean, they have to somehow shut down the likes of Henriquinho, who with that goal has now become Barcelona's leading goal scorer. He'll be happy with converting that one after missing a real gilt-edged chance earlier on in the match.
Alex Giardi with a long raking pass downfield for Arsenal, and now Guendouzi pops it in towards Pepe. Oh, a chance that for Christopher, but he just couldn't quite angle the run for Aubameyang to take advantage. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Just a 1-goal separating the two sides. Do you think it's a fair result, or do you think a draw is probably more fair at this moment in time?
I think it's fair for what's been happening. I think Barca have been the aggressor of the two. To use our boxing term, they've been the aggressor. They've been the guys that are wanting to engage and have wanted to take risks.
So if it went down to a points decision, you would say it's going with the team that are going for it more.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what and that's where, you know, when you look at teams and go, do they deserve to win it? If they're pushing the game and they're pushing the gameplay, then yeah, they deserve to be in front because they're being more aggressive.
Lionel Messi, lovely flick towards Rakitic. Another sign of this early aggression in this match, and as we tick towards the first half closure, it's another chance here for Arsenal, but the offside flag is raised, and that will probably be the last action of a pretty dour first half for Arsenal.
Yeah, they are in danger of becoming very, very predictable in this second half to come, purely based on the amount of times they've turned over possession. And if you think about if they were playing a team like AS Monaco.
Oh, it's another chance for Lionel Messi. Couldn't get anything on it. Just a flick of the hair and it was a goal.
Thinking about what this kind of scoreline would be if they were playing a team like AS Monaco, who are known to put teams to the sword. Arsenal, they need to take care of the ball a lot more. They can't afford to keep turning it over, otherwise Barca are going to get their second goal.
You can tell just how dominant Barca have been. No shots on target, no shots taken from Arsenal in the first half. You can see just how much they've had them penned in.
And that'll be quite disappointing for Arsenal because they were themselves pretty dominant in that first game at times.
Yeah, and again they were pushing the issue in that first game. They were pushing.
What's changed? Why have they?
It could be the pressure of the fact that they've only gained a point out of the first game, and then all of a sudden they're thinking, well, pressure's going to be on us now. We need to get a win, and they've kind of been consumed by the pressure. Or it can even be on the flip side of going, well, we're just fearful that we might not take a point from this next game.
David Luiz on the right-hand side of the Arsenal defence finds Reece Nelson, a long raking pass down towards Balogun. One back by Barcelona, and Lionel Messi winning a header against Mustafi, something you probably didn't think you'd hear, as Mustafi gets it back for Arsenal and Kolasinac. They really need to start using the physicality more, you feel, Arsenal?
I certainly would think so. I'm just trying to pinpoint exactly what's going wrong for them, because they seem to be in their attacks just rushing it a little bit too much, but then also when they're on their defence, if something like that interception from Christopher doesn't come in, they're then totally exposed at the back. So maybe could be a bit more patient in both attacking and a defensive sense as well.
Like you said, it's all in danger of becoming very predictable from Arsenal. Every time they get the ball, it seems fairly easy to read. They need to do something a little bit outside of the box, find a bit of magic from somewhere, as Pepe can't quite keep it in there. 53 minutes gone and time running out for them. Piqué finds Dembele. Now, Lionel Messi for sure a second. Oh, what footwork that was from Lionel Messi. Wonderful trickery from the talisman and almost produced one. That would certainly have been my pick of goal of the day.
Lovely little double touch there from Messi. Beautiful.
David Luiz finds Reece Nelson. Infield towards Guendouzi. Of course, we keep saying just the one goal in it. We've seen it time and time again. If you do not capitalise on your dominance, you will be generally punished at the highest level, as Messi can't quite get the ball. Messi, long ball downfield. Half an hour for Arsenal to salvage something here. Otherwise, it's 1 point for them and 4 for Barca.
At what point do you start thinking about maybe switching up the formation a little bit, maybe throwing some more bodies forward? Because you can see Barcelona in possession taking care of the ball a lot more than Arsenal are when they have the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be saying now would be the time, but they're under the pressure again.
Dembele tries to play it back towards Messi. That's another one thing I have noticed with Barcelona, their approach play has been right up there at the top of this tournament so far, but it's just that lack of final ball that's the difference between them and AS Monaco at the moment, as Balogun almost goes through. Good defending in the end from Arsenal.
The Palmer, I think it was, actually taking that one away from the goal, the potential goal scorer, the goal threat there. Amazing tackle.
Was indeed breathtaking stuff from the defender as the ball gets hacked out towards Henry Quinho, who brings it down with Jordi Alba. Support from Luis Suarez. It is Guiafera, one of the best players currently in the world of eFootball PES. Not on this day.
I think what worries me from an Arsenal standpoint, if you're an Arsenal fan looking in on this, is that the formation that Arsenal are playing isn't suiting what Arsenal's strengths are. You know, there's a lack of a Hector Bellerin. There's a lack, you know, of putting Kolasinac in the right spot. They've got a very, very narrow team compared to the, you know, the wing weaponry that we talked about. They've got Pepe, they've got Reece Nelson, they've got Saka. They've got all these weapons, but they're just going down this
down the middle. They need to start. They need to start hitting the flanks and stretching. The way I'm seeing it, they need to stretch that congested edge of the penalty area place on the pitch, and it's just not. It's not coming off at the moment. Like you said there, we're looking at the two teams. You've got so much width for Barcelona on that right-hand side, and equally, like for Arsenal, it's almost like a pencil formation, isn't it?
Well, it's like we've spoken about. In terms of that formation, it's that or a variant of that we see a lot of pro players use. It's a cookie-cutter formation, but it doesn't always benefit you to play those formations with certain teams, Arsenal being one of them.
And you need to be adaptable. Yeah. Because if things aren't working, that's when you make changes. And we are seeing, granted, them making changes, but it's still very much personnel and not
the actual makeup of the actual team. Yeah, and that's the thing. If from an Arsenal perspective, that's what I'd be worried about. Is
seems like there's no plan B.
Yeah, there's no plan B, and it's surprising given the fact that you've got Christopher, who has almost an encyclopedic knowledge of formations and situations to go in.
So you're seeing close-ups of the players there. We're back to full screen, just as Lionel Messi looks to pull the trigger. Good header away from Medley, and now Martinelli finds Pepe. Back to Martinelli. This is better from Arsenal. Quicker, more direct as the ball gets played up towards Lacazette, and it looks like they forced a free kick for offside there. A good high line Barca.
A good high line, as you say, but it's a little disappointing for me to see Lacazette only brought on at this late stage of the game. On the one hand, yes, it's great that you have him now while the defence is tired, you know, maybe a little bit weary legs, but realistically, he's a type of player that I would be starting if I was controlling this Arsenal squad. He's such a great threat, and you know, you can see Aubameyang and Lacazette, I mean, last year in PES 2019, such a clinical threat as well. So surprising for me to see him not starting.
Indeed, but we are mere mortals and these are the experts, so we will save judgment, of course, until we hear from them in the mix zone. Maybe you can ask them that question in terms of the personnel that they used, as we see close-ups again here.
It's been a red card.
And there has been a red card.
That was Busquets sent off for Barcelona. Must have missed that one.
I certainly did. I was not looking at the screen when that happened.
From the challenge. That just happened.
So, as you know, in the blink of an eye, things can change. That's exactly what's happened here. It left us all pretty perplexed on the panel. It was only Wes who spotted it. The eagle-eyed Wes Meister General, as they've gone with still electing to go with that really wide right formation, but now they just don't have a focal point.
It's interesting to see them position the sent-off player in that top left-hand corner. Back in the day, it used to be a myth that the opponent's defence would play a little bit further back because they almost assumed that player is still on the pitch. So maybe that's something that Barcelona might try and exploit.
It used to be a case that if you deployed a man mark on that player, the game would still register the fact that that player was on the pitch. So your left back or your right back would just be playing an incredibly deep line.
So even the things we don't see, the ghosts in the machine, can still cause some changes at the highest level, as Vidal now finds Lionel Messi. 5 minutes are all that stands between Barcelona and 4 crucially important points in eFootball.Pro. In towards Perez, and now the goalkeeper hacks downfield. 3 minutes remaining, time running out for Arsenal. Have they got anything left in the tank to muster an unlikely equaliser? We've seen it happen time and time again from Celtic, from FC Nantes. Can Arsenal be the next team to go and do it? A ricochet almost found Martinelli, but Semedo hacks it downfield, and that might just be that. With only 1 minute of added on time, this is the last chance for Arsenal to get anything from this game. Otherwise, it'll be 4 for Barca and 1 for Arsenal for the day. And it looks like, as it's hacked downfield and back in Barcelona possession, it's a crucial 1-0 victory for Barcelona. And how important might that be?
Yeah, I mean, come the end of the season, those are going to be 4 points that will very much tell exactly what you needed to say in the table. I think Barca, again, will have needed those. And to be fair, it's going to break it up a little bit in that kind of pack that we said that was forming. We're going to see that kind of open up a fair bit.
So we're just waiting to hear about